A hero is only as good as their villain, and that rings just as true for horror movies as it does for any other genre. You know what horror franchise has more villains than almost any other? The Conjuring Universe, which just had its most recent entry hit theaters with The Conjuring Last Rites. So, which one of these demonic entities will scare their way to the top spot? Let's find out. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and movie lovers of all kinds, and welcome back to the channel. As always, I am your host, Brett Murphy, and for today's video, I have a brand new ranking for you all, as I am going to be ranking every Conjuring Universe demon/ghost/entity, including those found in the brand new The Conjuring Last Rites. Before I hop into the actual video itself, I just wanted to let you all know that I have an entire playlist dedicated to all of my ranking videos. We have well over 100 videos currently on that playlist for you to enjoy, if not upwards of over 200 now. So if ranking videos are your thing, then be sure to check that playlist out, and I guarantee you'll find something you like. And if by some chance you don't, then feel free to suggest something you might like. And so without further ado, let's hop right into things. Kicking us off at that number 21 spot is the Accordion Monkey. I originally had this one higher, but then I saw the movie, The Monkey, and realized that whatever spin-off they attempted to do with this thing would just end up like that movie, which was pretty mediocre. And let's face it, no one is ever going to beat the Toy Story 3 Symbol Monkey. Number 20, the Feeley Meeley game. There's nothing all that frightening about the Feeley Meeley game itself, but the one jump scare it does have, where it grabs Judy by the ankles and then a bunch of hands start coming out, is enough to make anyone squirm. Sure, they'd probably botch a movie about it, but picturing some sort of creature who owned all of those hands is pretty cool. In 19th place is the Haunted Piano. Not too long ago, I did have the Haunted Piano in last place, but now having seen The Conjuring Last Rites, where the main villain is basically just a haunted mirror, I think this could actually work. I mean, we've seen hundreds of creepy piano scenes in horror movies, but the fact that this one scene we get with it in Annabelle Comes Home is actually a decent scare makes me think there might actually be some potential here. In that number 18 spot is the wife from The Conjuring Last Rites. The wife from the story of the three spirits being used as puppets in The Conjuring Last Rites only really lands here by default. The monkey doesn't do anything, the Feeley Meeley game could be cool, and same with the piano. But this is an actual spirit, so I figured it should be a touch higher. Although I can only recall one time where we see her in the movie, which is the jump scare when Tony is driving his car in the storm towards the end. I'm pretty sure the rest of the time we're seeing either the grandmother or the Axeman. Anyway, generic CGI creepy face ghost woman at number 18. In 17th place, the near future telling TV. Though this is nothing more than a haunted TV, it's a pretty sweet haunted TV that shows people their possible near-future deaths, and its screen time in Annabelle Comes Home are some of the best bits in the movie. I can easily see this being made into some sort of spin-off akin to The Ring or others like it. Number 16, the Samurai Armor. Yes, I know I just put that ghost woman from Last Rites higher than some others because they were inanimate objects, but I mean, come on. It's haunted samurai armor. That's awesome, and I would love to see the Warrens or anyone else take on a demonic or ghost samurai. In 15th, the old lady/mother from The Conjuring Last Rites. Probably the spirit that got the most promo and screen time in The Conjuring Last Rites, and just like her daughter, she's really nothing more than a CGI-looking creepy old lady. I have her a bit higher because there's some alright jump scares from her in the movie, and again, we probably see her the most of the three. Number 14, Marith, or, you know, the fat demon ghost thing from The Conjuring 3. Originally, I had this one listed as Unnamed Demon from The Conjuring 3, but when I went looking for an image of this beauty, I was informed by some wikis that apparently the demon is named Marith, or Marath, or however you pronounce that. Not like it really matters, because the damn thing doesn't appear in the movie for very long. However, given that it is a demon thing that actually physically manifests in the final act of the movie and has a gross enough appearance that is also seemingly practical, I'll give it a slight bump. In 13th place, the demonic mirror. To be truthful, this one could have been a lot higher if there were an actual demon, witch, or entity attached to it, like Malthus and Annabelle, or how Valak disguises itself as the nun. But nope, as far as I'm aware, it's just a haunted or possessed mirror with no name or individual identity. We get the briefest glimpse at something during the prologue in the hospital room when Judy is being born, but a name or backstory is never dropped, so I can't justify putting it any higher. I like the design of the mirror, I like how powerful it was and how it made for a worthy adversary, but without a Bathsheba-like reveal, I felt the movie was really missing something. In 12th place, The Bride, or The Haunted Wedding Dress. I think there's a lot of potential here for an anthology series, because one movie about a haunted wedding dress that can possess people would be pretty generic and boring. But seeing a series of brides go nuts and engage in a sadistic killing spree sounds like a bloody good time. In 11th, just missing out on our top 10 is The Black Shuck, or The Werewolf Ghost. Werewolves are cool. They've always been cool and they're always gonna be cool. So how could a ghost werewolf not have a respectable position on this list? Sure, the CGI isn't always the best in Annabelle Comes Home, but if it had an entire prequel movie dedicated to it, I'd say we'd have a fairly good time on our hands. In 10th place, the Goat Demon from The Nun 2. The Goat Demon is another character from this series that had a lot of potential, but they squandered it twice over in the same movie. The first time being that it didn't get enough screen time, and the second being obscuring it more than they should have. That's not to say I would want the whole thing revealed to us bird first, because that's often quite disappointing, and in a lot of instances with these types of creatures, less is more. But they gave us barely anything. This one had so much potential, and I really wish they either gave us more of it in The Nun 2, or gave it a solo project of some sort. In 9th place, the Conjuring Last Rites Axeman. What can I say? I liked the guy. Some of the movie's best sequences revolve around this guy. The axe, the long hair, the face, the laugh. I actually thought he was pretty sick. Honestly, I wouldn't have hated if the movie focused on just the three spirits alone, or even just this guy, instead of the whole haunted mirror thing, which is supposedly some grand puppet master? In 8th place, Isla Kastner. I struggled with where to put dear old Isla because, on the one hand, I don't find her all that interesting. On the other, she does push the Warrens to the brink, and what she's able to do with her curses and spells and whatnot is pretty great. Though I can see some of the ethical issues of chalking a real-life murder up to a disgruntled witch who Daddy locked away as a movie villain. She's fine, and the last really prominent villain in the series up to this point. Number 7, Bill Wilkins. The tragic nature of Bill being an old man whose spirit is being controlled by a demon in order to torment and wear down a family against his will isn't lost on me, but damn it, this dude has some stellar jump scares, paired with a creepy-ass voice and ghostly design. I like Bill story-wise too. I think the Valak twist is pretty well done and adds an extra layer to both Bill and the larger story of the movie and universe. Number 6, La Llorona. Movie, bad. Character design and deep lore, good. She's basically the bride that I talked about earlier, but with an actual story. An old Latin American folktale about a woman who discovered her husband having an affair and subsequently drowned her children to keep him from taking them away from her. She then takes her own life after realizing what she's done and is doomed to roam the countryside, or LA in this franchise, crying out in search of children to replace the ones she took. Excellent story and a creepy-ass design make for a pretty compelling villain. Unfortunately, her movie, at least the one in this franchise, is rotten. In 5th place, The Ferryman. Loosely based on the Greek mythological figure Charon, the ferryman to the underworld, the ferryman first appeared in this franchise 6 years ago as of the making of this video and has yet to return. What the hell, guys? I'm simply baffled by the fact that we've gotten 3 Annabelle movies, 2 The Nun movies, but no other spin-offs whatsoever when there are such great ideas right there. This being my second favorite candidate. He's got the best moments in Annabelle Comes Home and such a dope design for a villain. In 4th place, just missing out on the top 3 podium, is The Crooked Man. Everything I just said, minus the Charon part, but we can just simply sub that for a traditional English nursery rhyme, applies to The Crooked Man. The most demented part is that the producers lined up a spin-off for this character and then waited and waited and waited until they got cold feet and cancelled it. Again, they'll keep giving us movies about The Nun or Annabelle, but won't move on to try other, potentially even cooler, bigger, better things. Number 3, Bathsheba. I would argue Bathsheba is actually the scariest villain of the series, given that she's based on a real woman and has the most grounded look of all the demonic villains. Both herself, the few times we get a glimpse of her, and the hybrid look once she possesses Carolyn Perrin. A woman who sacrificed her newborn baby to the devil and then just jumped from a tree that just so happened to have a rope tied around it, which was also tied around her, funnily enough, while cursing the land and all those who ever live on it is pretty gnarly. Number 2, Annabelle/Malthus. It was a toss-up for me between Annabelle/Malthus and the only other villain left on the list. I love Annabelle's design, and honestly, Malthus has a pretty sick look too. He's just a really awesome, charred, horned looking demon. But I think this has sort of become a case of oversaturation. Annabelle's first appearance in The Conjuring is iconic. Then her first movie sucked, and from there she's just been popping up everywhere. And I'm kind of tired of seeing her. Not to mention the doll itself is nothing more than a vessel, so it's really Malthus who we should be talking about, and that MF barely shows his face. All that being said, Annabelle keeps showing up everywhere for a reason. She's become an all-time horror icon and a pop culture star, from humble beginnings as a Raggedy Ann doll to global fame. Pretty impressive, and so I have to recognize that. Plus, I really enjoy both Annabelle Creation and Annabelle Comes Home. But there's only room for one at the top, and my number 1 pick is Valak/The Nun. Like I said, it was a genuine toss-up between this one and Annabelle, but ultimately I felt Valak has become just as recognizable as Annabelle, has 2 of her own movies, even if they're not very good, and is an actual demon/entity, not just a doll. My only real gripe with Valak is that we haven't gotten to see her, or his, or its final demonic form brought to the screen yet. We got oh so close with The Conjuring 2, but ultimately it was cut, which is a damn shame because the design was incredible and they planned to do it practically too. Nevertheless, Valak, aka the Nun, is truly the most powerful, evil, and vile force we have had in the Conjuring universe. It has an iconic design, countless abilities to torment our heroes with, and has a killer backstory. A true terror for audiences everywhere, and my number 1 pick for today. So that is all for today's video, folks. Be sure to let me know down in the comments below if you agree or disagree with my ranking. While you're at it, don't forget to let me know how you would rank every Conjuring Universe demon. Plus, I want to know what you thought about the Conjuring Last Rites. Was it a satisfying end for Ed and Lorraine, or did it miss the mark? Comment below and let me know. As a reminder, this is the revamped BAM2 movies, and it is your one-stop for everything movies, be it ranking videos like this one, video essays, top 10s versus videos, tier list videos, I have it all and so much more, along with your daily nerdy news wrap-ups. A series of shorts where I keep you up to date on everything movies, gaming, and TV related. So be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and ring that little bell icon so you don't miss a thing. As always, folks, I thank you all so very much for watching. Stay happy, healthy, and safe out there. From myself and the rest of the BAMTube team, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time, and that's a wrap.